Hey guys, it's Millie and I'm back with video number 2. I listened to your guys' suggestions and I've come up with a few video ideas, so this one is going to be on how I deal with depression and anxiety. I suffer with crippling anxiety and depression. I say crippling because it is. It's something I suffer with on a daily basis and I find it hard to get through a lot of days. It's nothing to be ashamed of, and I'm not ashamed of it anymore. I used to be. My depression can go from quite a mild depression to quite an intense, aggressive depression. What I mean by that is I can have a mild depression where I'm a bit teary, bit of a low mood, or I can have an aggressive depression where I'm in bed a lot of the day. I am confused, I can't think, I can't talk, I can't eat, I overeat. In terms of dealing with depression, I found the best thing is to have a support system. Whether that support system is yourself or other people, a support system is needed. I think the term depression gets used so much that we can often forget how serious depression is and how crippling and how life-halting it is. For some people it's a temporary thing, for some people it's chronic and can be there for the rest of their lives. I'm taking medication for depression. I'm not ashamed of that. I love them, I call them my happy pills. They don't exactly make me happy instantly, but they help me, they give me that boost, they help those serotonin levels, and there is no shame in taking medication. So on top of medication being a way for me to deal with depression, it's also a way for me to have a surface for me to build upon, if you get me. It's like, without that surface, I wouldn't have anything to build on. It'd just be rocks and jagged edges. Whereas with this medication, it gives me a nice smooth base to kind of like build that happiness on, and that's what a lot of people need. Now, not everybody needs medication, but I do, and that's okay, that's cool, it's fine. Another way that I cope with depression and anxiety is I educate myself. I will read the internet and I'll find good resources. I mean, don't just be reading anything and everything and assuming they know everything, but I find good resources. I find self-help books online, credited, decent self-help books, and I think stopping that ignorance towards the topic really helps you recover. So educating yourself and learning more about what you're suffering with can be such an open door for you to then find ways to deal with it. I'm really crap at this, but I try not to be too hard on myself. I mean, I am. I'm terrible for being too hard on myself. But I try not to. I try and realise that I'm doing the best I can, and if all I did today was breathe and survive, then it's pretty cool, because you know, life can be hard and you don't have to run 10 marathons and eat kale for breakfast and do hot yoga and meet with 10 friends to have a decent day. If you are getting out of bed and it's hard for you but you are still pushing and functioning, then that's amazing. That's something to be insanely proud of. I often have those days that makes it hard to deal with where I think, why me? You know, why me? Why am I lumped with depression and anxiety and all these things? Why me? Why is my life harder? And then I think, hang on a minute, without depression and anxiety, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't be half as strong as I am. I wouldn't be half as resilient. I wouldn't be half as empathetic. I wouldn't be half as loving. I wouldn't be half as strong and caring. And I love all those things about me. So without this depression and this anxiety and the hardship that I've been through, I wouldn't be Millie, and that's quite a scary thought. Now, I'm in no way saying that you have to be grateful for your depression or your anxiety, but think of the ways that it's helped you. Try and build on it, use it as a hurdle and leap over that hurdle and carry on stronger. So another way I deal with depression and anxiety is I try and destigmatise the topic. I try and talk to as many people about it in a normal, fine way as possible. So I will just say to people, yeah, I have depression, yeah, I have anxiety. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Getting rid of that shame makes it so much easier to cope with. I used to never talk about it. I used to be really ashamed of my depression, and now I never stop talking about it. People, if someone was a professional dancer, they would be proud of that. They would tell people about it. They would talk about it. Well, I've suffered with crippling depression for most of my adult life and some of my childhood. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that I'm still here. I'm still waking up in the morning and looking after my son. I'm proud of that. So I'm going to talk about that. And there is no shame in that at all. Another way of dealing with it is to not be afraid to get help. There's such a stigma of getting help, especially for the men out there suffering with depression and anxiety. It's seen as a weak thing to go get help, and it's not. I promise you it's not. It's seen as a brave thing. It's a resilient thing. Go out there and say, you know what? I'm struggling and I need help. Not a lot of people want to do that, and to me it shows a great strength of character to go out there and get that help. Go to a doctor, speak to a parent, anything, medication, counselling, whatever route is best for you, try it, do it. Why live in a worse position when you can get that help? So I guess what I'm trying to say is that mental health problems are friggin' normal, and that helps me deal. Thinking about that helps me deal with anxiety and depression. I think, you know what, loads of people have it. I'm not alone. There are people you can talk to. If they suffer with depression or anxiety or not, there are people you can talk to. You are never alone in this, ever. Whether it's on the end of the phone, the Samaritans, the suicide hotlines, or whether it's on an internet chat room, or whether it's going and asking your neighbour for a coffee, you are never alone. You do not have to be alone. And that is, to me, is quite a beautiful thing, really. Never be ashamed of who you are. Never be ashamed of your mental illness. Never be ashamed of your struggles. Never be ashamed of the times you've fallen down. Because what really matters is how many times you get back up. You could have fallen down 5,000 times, but as long as you get up 5,001 times, that's what's important. To me, somebody getting up after hardships and after struggles shows amazing strength, and that to me is one of the most inspirational things I can possibly think of. I'm gonna leave it here because this one's been a bit longer and a bit but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to leave down below some videos that you want to see or any tips, because I'm still new to this, so tips are welcomed, constructive criticism, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!